And now to the opposition National Democratic Congress, where its flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, has described the controversy surrounding the recent expulsion of 4 members of parliament by Speaker Alban Bagbin as symptomatic of a deepening crisis within the country's governance architecture. John Mahama further expressed concern over the state of Ghana's democracy, highlighting the Supreme Court's recent stay of Speaker Bagbin's ruling, which prompted an indefinite adjournment of the House on Tuesday, October 22. There's more in this report by ChannelOne News' Fauzu Masawudu.
Ghana's 8th parliament has been a litmus test to the country's democracy due to its hung nature. A recent expulsion of 4 members of the legislative arm of government by the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, and a subsequent directive by the Supreme Court staying Speaker's ruling has been central to discussions about the country's political landscape. Addressing a congregation at the 80th anniversary celebration of the St. Joseph the Worker Anglican Church in Accra, NDC flag bearer John Mahama opined that the situation is symptomatic of a deepening governance crisis.
Our economy is in crisis. That one I don't need to tell you. And when you see your size of kenke shrinking, you know that there's crisis. Or if you see the price of kenke going up, you know that we're in a crisis. And so I don't need to tell you about the economy. Our governance is in crisis. Recently, you saw what happened in Parliament. We almost had a constitutional crisis. But for the matured handling of the Speaker in suspending the House, there could have been a clash between the judiciary and our Parliament. And so our governance is in crisis. We need to reset, we need to restart, we need to look at our Constitution again, we need to revise it and plug the loopholes and make it clearer so that in future we don't have the kinds of issues that we have.
As the December 7 general elections approach, John Mahama called on the clergy to sustain peace messages and the need for a transparent electoral process.
Anytime we're having elections, there's a sense of anxiety that something is going to happen and that there's going to be violence and the country can be thrown in crisis. And so we must all work for peace to prevail before, during, and after elections. And I believe that it's only when the moral voices of society are alert and are heard that we can guarantee peaceful elections. And so let the church, let civil society organizations, let our traditional leaders all raise their voices to make sure that things are done right before, during, and after elections, so that peace will prevail. On behalf of the party that I lead, at least I can pledge for myself and my party that we'll do all in our power to ensure that these elections are peaceful and Ghana remains to prosper.
Mahama continued his faith-based visit at the Ghana National Muslim Conference, where leadership expressed appreciation towards him for considering their demands in the NDC's 2024 manifesto.
When all the political parties eventually launch their manifestos, we put together a committee to examine all the manifestos to find out which of the manifestos is responsive to our needs, so that members of the Muslim community can make informed decisions. We recognize that the manifesto of the National Democratic Congress responded to 12 out of the 14 issues. Out of the 14 issues we raised in our manifestos.
Key amongst the proposals he elucidated includes the provision of health infrastructure in the Muslim communities and specialized places for the disposition of corpses in line with Islamic practices.
We will follow our promise in 2020 to establish specialized places for the handling of bodies of Muslims who pass away, in order that they are handled according to Islamic rites. We will also equip health facilities in Muslim communities with relevant health infrastructure and partner with the private sector to build new abattoirs in communities such as Tulaku and rehabilitate existing abattoirs to conform with World Health Organization standards and introduce halal standards in terms of handling of meat and meat products.
In a bid to increase the country's literacy rate, Mahama reaffirmed his pledge to initiate an educational infrastructure expansion program in all Zongo communities.
To enhance Islamic educational infrastructure and shore up support for the Islamic Education Unit in Ghana, we will, 1, initiate an educational infrastructure program to expand educational infrastructure in all Zongo communities. This, we hope, will, among other things, culminate in the conversion of the Islamic Research Institute in Nima into a training college to train more Arabic teachers. We shall enhance and resource the Islamic Education Unit under the GES to enable effective monitoring and recruitment of more Arabic teachers. We will continue the project we started and continue all the infrastructure upgrades that we began in the Al Farouk College of Education in Winchi. We will facilitate accreditation of Islamic schools, such as the Institute of Islamic Research, to support the training of more Arabic teachers.
In a bid to fostering a people-centered government, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama is pledging to strategically integrate religious leaders in his next administration. Reporting for Channel One News, my name is Fauzu Masaudu, Accra.